Cracking, everybody. Today we're back to show you exactly how to clean and polish your nitro motor that's been sitting in a nitro bath over a day or two or three. This one's my 2.5 that we had a little bit of an issue getting the crankshaft out of it the other day. Really hoping the nitro bath helped that out. We're going to start with the block because it's what I'm most worried about. We'll be able to get this crank out of here, hopefully. And then I'll show you how to clean it. Clean the piston, clean the sleeve. We'll probably do a preliminary clean on the block as well today. We're not going to do any bearing work tonight, but this thing's looking pretty good. Shining up nice. All the stuck on gunk and residue that I was really trying to get off of the outside of the block is coming off nicely. Once again, we're going to give this thing the old smack treatment and see if we can get the crankshaft to come on out. I had to try real hard and went nowhere the other day. It's already spinning a lot nicer than it was the other day. As you can see, I'm spinning it by hand pretty nice and easy. So let's smack her on the table and see if she comes out of there. Butter. That's what we like. Cool. That was a lot easier than I expected it to be. Crankshaft definitely has, you can see where it's been riding on the bearings, but it's not horrible. The crankshaft pin looks like it's had something on it, but once again, it's not horrible. We're gonna do what we can to clean the nitro off just with a shop towel here real quick. At this point, I'm not real worried about the shop towel hairs getting on anything. Like I said, that was a lot easier than I expected it to be. That went very well. So, got a crankshaft out. Got a block that we can wipe out real quick, at least try to get most of the nitro off. The inside, get the bore. Aluminum's not quite as important as the steel is to get clean because aluminum doesn't rust. Oxidizes a little bit, especially if you've had polished aluminum parts before. You'll know you have to keep up with them as far as repolishing because they do tarnish. However, it's not rust, and you hit them with a little bit of mag and aluminum polish, and they're spick and span, bright as new. So, blocks out. You can see this bright blue nitro is now disgusting, turning green because, as we know, yellow, orange, which is the fuel I used to use, and blue made green. So used to be on Byron's 30% way back in the day. Used to be able to get that. Not anymore. They went under, unfortunately. Now I run that good VP 30%, mostly because VP stickers are fucking cool. Also, VP makes the methanol that the race cars I'm around use. Most of the top fuel funny car teams that run nitromethane or the dragster teams, all of them are on the VP. So looking at this rod now that I educated myself a little bit regarding old rod motor versus new rod motor. Turns out that oiling hole is on the top of the crank pin side, not up here inside the wrist pin area. I can identify this as an old rod motor then, and also the fact that they don't make oil pressure. These little holes just let that oil run down into the bushing and onto the crank pin surface. Keep it all lubricated and nice in there. You'll see the connecting rod moves freely, and that's what we want. It's not gritty or anything gross like that. And I'm just wiping all of these down real quick with a shop towel, clean them a little bit, see what we can get off of there. Just cleaning like this. This sleeve is pretty gross. Not much of the green is coming off of it. Disgusting. But like I said, we tested this a few days ago in the other video. We tested out the pinch on the piston and the sleeve. I'll show you guys again now that it's clean as well though. We're not going to polish the inside of this sleeve like I said. This still has some cross hatching right up towards the top. Not sure if you'll be able to see, but right up towards the top it does get slightly more shiny, polished looking, where the piston has been pinching and it wears there. So that's fine as long as, once again, we'll orient the piston correctly. The notch on the top of these Traxxas sleeves is right above the exhaust port, and the long part of the skirt, as you can see, goes towards the exhaust port. So fit her in the bottom here. Let's see, make sure I got this oriented correctly. Long side of the piston, and good pinch. Can't push it all the way through. That's what we're looking for. Like I said, this motor's used, has some amount of fuel through it, so I'm not expecting glorious pinch by any means. However, that's good enough for who it's for at this moment in time. It's going to be great for a little lower power fuel economy, hand it to my friends and let them learn how to drive a Nitro car. That's what I'm all about, is having a little bit of fun with my friends. So let's get into polishing this a little bit, polishing this crankshaft. You'll be able to see on it, right in this end section and right here up to this shoulder, there are little marks where the bearings have been riding. What we're gonna do is take our Mother's Mag and aluminum polish, get it on a microfiber towel here. This stuff gets old and gross, so don't forget to shake it like I just did. Good enough. Cool, see? Pasty. Take our microfiber here, get a clean section. I use this microfiber to polish fucking everything. This is one of the parts of the process that you don't have to worry about cleanliness all that much until you're done. So got just a little bit, that's all you need. And once you see the rag turn black, that means it's working. So we've got a little bit of that white polish, gonna start on the crank pin where the connecting rod goes on. And we just rub it out. Like I said, this acts like a cleaner. It doesn't take any material away, not from steel at least. Even if it was aluminum, the amount of material it takes off is microns. So you don't have to worry about clearances getting messed up. Especially in these motors, they're a lot less sensitive than a lot of people think they are. At least for these lower end kind of basher motors, at least it doesn't matter quite as much. I'm sure when we start talking about the big OS Max or the OS Speed stuff, or Picos, or Nova Rossi's, Reds motors, I'm sure they're all machined much better. The tolerances are much tighter. So you can see where I've been rubbing has turned black, and our pin location is looking really good, really clean, getting that nice polished look to it, which is what we want. Polished surfaces not necessarily accept lubrication better, but lubricity works better on a polished surface. We'll say it that way. Cool. So that's really nice, gorgeous, clean. I'm gonna take just another section of the microfiber, clean it well enough. Nice. Real nice and bright. I'm sure you guys won't be able to see too much of it, but the end of this is real nice and bright and the way I like it to look. So we're gonna move on to the rear bearing surface. I'm gonna start on another cleanish section of rag. At this point, I'm not too worried about getting any polish inside the intake or on the rear end of the crankshaft because we're gonna clean that with the steel wool here in a little bit. After we mask up our newly polished bits. So, a little bit of Mother's Magnet aluminum polish, and take your time. What we're looking for is knocking off that little bit of a witness mark that's present due to the bearing. There's no rust where these bearings were. I'm guessing it was just all gummed up with varnish and disgusting shit from sitting for 10 years that is off of there now, or was broken down enough by our Nitro bath that it let go with just a couple smacks on the table. That was pretty sweet. I can definitely say, once again, that wasn't supposed to be as easy as it was, but that's proof for the Nitro bath working and being good at breaking down that varnish that's disgusting and stuck inside your motor, just gums everything up, as you saw, makes shit stick together. That doesn't work well for motors. Just reloading the rag when I have to. This little section of rag that I'm using is turning black as I polish, and you can watch the color change of the crankshaft as you polish. This is not a fast process. This is one of those things you do when you have some extra time late at night like this, that you don't feel like sleeping, or you don't feel like playing video games, or the rest of your shit is clean and you just feel like breaking out a new project because you're a man and you like to start projects and never finish any of them. I do that, very guilty. But I'm trying to be better. And these are projects that I will finish because it's way too much fun to have cars sitting on the shelf, man. Gotta get these things out and fucking drive them. So, looking really good and clean. Clean up what we've been fucking with here. Oh yeah, baby. Nice and bright. Love that. You're not gonna get all of the little witness marks out of it from where the bearings have been sitting. However, you can use the polish to clean as much as possible. And as soon as you're happy with the finish, you're done. So, polished enough for me. Polished enough for a Traxxas motor, that's for goddamn sure. Another little dab of the polish here. And we'll go after the front bearing. No, it's a little bit boring to watch somebody fucking polish some shit, but at the same time, if you watch me do it, you'll be encouraged to do it yourself. So, just get into it. Enjoy it. You're cleaning You're making your shit RPM run beautifully. Free spin, you know. Big RPMs. Roost. Throw dirt in people's faces. Oh yeah. Beautiful. I think I'm gonna hit the rest of this crank section besides where the bearing has been sitting, just because it looks a little bit dull, and I like nice, bright, beautiful, shiny things as opposed to dullness. And like I said, get into it. You're not going to get all these little itty bitty scratches and witness marks, and especially if your motor's old and has a lot of nitro through it and it's been worn in, just not going to happen really. As far as getting it super wicked clean. So that's good enough for me. Clean her off with another clean section of towel. Let's get to one here. As you can see, I really fucking like polishing shit, so this rag is well used. Get all this polish off of here. Nice, nice. Nice, nice. Cool. All right. I forgot something. I'm gonna go get my steel wool. Be right back. Just so you guys can get an idea of what the correct steel wool looks like, what you'll be looking for. Super fine 4 zeros, number 4 zeros, right? So as more zeros come up, it gets smaller. Kind of the same way with sandpaper, as you know, 80 grit sandpaper, that's the gnarly shit. And then we go up through 180 and 400 and 6, 8,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000. Then you get to your polishes. So steel wool, very aggressive. And as the numbers go up, the fine quality, it's like, at least with sandpaper, it's grits per inch. So 600 grits per inch means they have to be much smaller in order to fit them in an inch than 80 grits in an inch. So here we go. We're going to take a little bit of our masking tape and cover up the bearing sections where we just worked, so that we can get the end section of the crankshaft cleaned. As you can see, it's very rusty, and the steel wool will take care of that. Let's again take a little piece of your masking tape, wrap it around, right. Clean motor's a happy motor, people. Get this rust out of there. The nitro bath has loosened this stuff up considerably, so take a little wad of your steel wool after everything is protected sufficiently, right? Make sure. Take your steel wool and just really lightly. Some crankshaft end sections are more complicated than others, but the steel wool will knock it right off of the cast steel that's on the end of this. Be gentle. No need to rush this process or make a fool of yourself. Don't want to fuck stuff up. That's for goddamn sure. Now this steel wool definitely leaves behind little hairs and residue, and if you let them stay in your motor, I guarantee it's gonna wreck everything. So this is one of those things that you really, really need to clean well after. And you'll want to anyway. Any of this rusty dust going through your motor, no bueno. Granted, there's a lot less bearings and oil passages that we have to worry about with these motors versus a full-size street car engine that we actually make 3 and 5 and 7 and 1,000 horsepower with. We're making less than 2 horsepower here. It's a 2-stroke motor. They're not quite as sensitive, like I said, as bigger motors, but we still want to keep them nice. They're expensive, and they're a lot more fun when they run good than when they don't run good, and you're disappointed about going out and running it and, oh, it's not as fast as I wish it was. That was me this last summer after I broke them out again. Shouldn't have waited quite as long to start a YouTube channel about this shit. I did get other trucks. I have a Slayer Pro 4x4, and I had a Nitro Rustler that was my first Nitro car. That was my first hobby grade RC car, realistically. And I converted it into a Nitro Slash because trophy trucks are fucking cool, and stadium trucks don't look like anything real, unfortunately. And there's nowhere that races Nitro anything around where I live, anyway. So, hopefully you can see, we've got that orange look gone. It's back to black, back to gray. And so we'll remove our masking tape, mostly so that we can get any of the little hairs. So you can see on the masking tape, all those little steel wool hairs came off inside the crankshaft. If you want to, very, very carefully, I'm gonna do it. You can kind of roll the steel wool in between your fingers, make it a cylinder, and push it through the end of the intake hole, and just give it a little baby back and forth, little spin. Hold your finger over the intake port so the steel wool doesn't pop out the end and fuck up your nice polished surfaces. Give her a little bit of back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, clean her up. And cleaned it out a little bit in there. I don't think it's really a performance gain, but it's definitely getting out stupid shit that we don't really want going through this motor. So then we take our brake clean or our carbon choke cleaner and just spray it out a little bit. Perfect. That stuff dries really quickly. And the reason we use it is it leaves no residue. Yeah, real nice and dry. We want all that nitromethane, the castor oil that's inside, or that's mixed into your fuel. We want all that out of there. The brake clean definitely destroys the adhesive of the masking tape. Just in case anybody knows, just a little bit of a fun fact. I'm a painter, or a body man in real life. I paint cars, and the reason we use masking tape, the reason we love masking tape, is because it leaves no residue, unlike duct tape or like packing tape. where those can leave some residue behind that we don't want to deal with. It'll fuck up a paint job, it'll go through a motor and gum shit up, whatever. The glorious thing about masking tape is it's specifically designed to not leave residue. So, clean crankshaft. Go through the piston. I mean, it looks really nice and clean, especially after sitting in that nitro bath. Looking really good. I think still in good shape, real good shape here. Top of the piston's a little bit black, but we're burning shit, so stuff gets black. I can't believe how fucking gross and green my nitro bag got. This was bright blue, brand new VP out of a quart that I had. So looking really good. It's probably clean enough for me. We're gonna still get it, since it's not steel, not really essential to make it completely clean, but still give her the old carbon coat cleaner treatment. Spray it off onto the ground, and we'll let it dry. Now, this sleeve, freaking disgusting, man. It is very green on the outside and just not good. So I think just for funsies, we're gonna throw a quick polish on this thing, just to make it all bright and shiny and new looking, because that's we're trying to bring all these things back to life, make them like new, of course. So I know I recommended in my last video, not necessary to polish the outside of the sleeve. Really don't, as opposed to not necessary. It's necessary that you don't touch the inside of the sleeve. So once again, a little bit of Mother's Magnum aluminum polish on a clean section of rag, and we'll get to polishing here, see what we can take off. The abradability of this polish is not super high, so apparently really not doing much. We got a little bit of brightness and luster out of some sections that were covered or pinched inside the block where oxidation never happened, but it seems like the majority of this isn't coming off, and I don't think it's worth it to put that time in. So you're seeing me make decisions live, some live action, brother. Shout out to Cletus McFarland. Fucking love that guy. He actually signed the Nitro Slash body. I was walking around in the pits at Grid Life, Colorado this year, pretty sauced, and happened to see the giraffe. That dude's tall. Standing in the back of Von Gittin Jr.'s pit, who I was lucky enough to be pitted right next to, and said what's up and asked him to sign my body. And he said, "Oh, brother, I'll sign your body." Rumor has it that that signature, you know, that autograph adds 10 horsepower. That's what I heard. I mean, honestly, the truck felt a lot faster after he signed it, so I won't doubt him, personally. So, that's polishing and cleaning your internals. The next video will probably be tearing into the 3.3 so I can knock the bearings out of that, throw the new Boca bearings inside it, use those bearings inside this 2.5. In that video, we'll also be taking a peep at the carb swap between Traxxas carburetor and an OS 11K. This thing is that sauce. They hold their tunes way better. They make a whole lot more power. They don't crack on you. And it's from Japan, so obviously it's cool. So, thanks for checking out the video. This is Wyatt with RC Done Right, and we'll check you in the next one.